DJ Unique with that raid. Thank you very much. Raiders, please refresh your screens. We'll be starting momentarily. What's going on, people? Welcome to Tech Talk Tuesdays. I am your host, DJ The Force. I appreciate everybody coming in today. We're just going to sit here and just talk about various tech streaming tools that we can use as far as helping individuals improve their streams and make it running better right now. As a matter of fact, this stream here is streaming both on Twitch as well as YouTube. So I just want to get in there and jump right in and talk to you and see what's going on with your streams. Do I have any streamers in the chat right now? If you do, put a 1 in the chat for me, please, just so I know who's in here that's streaming and who's not streaming. Well, with that, I decided instead of just doing a tutorial on Streamlabs, that's what I originally said I was going to do today. I decided I wanted to add a couple of things to it. I wanted to actually show people how to make their streams run a little better, and I won't say run better. I'll say give a little more flair to your streams by adding certain features and options that'll give not just a better look at a better look at the way your stream looks and the way people respond to it. So we're going to start off by just taking a look at a couple of features that are out there. One feature I do want to talk about here is a feature I brought it up in the last text talk session, a little bit on a feature called Feature Chat. And what Feature Chat does, it allows you to put on your screen features or the actual chat so that you can address the questions as they come up. So I'm going to start with that feature, and I'm going to bring it up here on our screen in just a moment. Let me see if I can do it this way. Got it just about ready here. So let's switch over to the actual GUI. So this is Feature Chat. What Feature Chat is basically, it is a tool that allows you to, again, add your actual chats to your stream so that you can do something like what I'm doing today here, having a tech talk, or I have some type of podcast or conversation about whatever topic you're talking about. So to get to this page, it is featured.chat.com. And then once you go there, you actually log into your account. Once you have logged into your account, you will come to this main screen. Actually, let's do this. Let's start from the beginning here. So once you log in, it'll bring you to your feature chat screen. And what you have here is the ability to add conversations actually live in real time onto your chat. So for an example here, I'm going to go ahead and just highlight something here. If I wanted to signify or say that Unique did raid me, it allows me to take a look at it. It allows me to preview what the chat is, and then right here I can go ahead and show on the chat, and then voila, the actual message shows up on the chat. Once I am done with the chat, or once I'm done with the feature, I can just go ahead and disable it or turn it back off, and then I can go down here and go and grab anything, any chat that happens inside of the room. You also have the option of queuing them onto the screen, so that, let's say I want to just go down the list. I want to add this one. 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 As you see over here, all four of them are on deck. And then when I hit play, what it will do is actually cycle through each message for a period of time to allow everybody to take a look at it. And you know, that's basically how the chat feature works. I'm looking to see, right now it looks like it's only available for your Twitch stream. It's not available for your other streaming services such as YouTube that I see yet. I'm doing some research to see if Feature Chat has a future option where you can add multiple streams in one location and actually display them on the screen. So that is basically one of the features that we're going to look at here today, which is the Feature Chat. The other thing that I wanted to take a look at, and then what I can do here is turn off delete the features there. The other thing I wanted to take a look at, actually, and a good part of the stream today, will be Streamlabs. We have various streamers out there using multiple platforms to enhance their services. This is one of the major ones that I use. Actually, this is the first one that I've used. And it's a little different than last week's tutorial on Stream Elements, because to me, those Stream Elements, and each streaming service or streaming edition has its own additional or special feature. But when it comes to usability, to me, the one that has the best feature, and I think I still have a chat up here. I just want to go back here. The queue's empty, so it should go away in a second. The thing I like about this particular software is that some of the base features it does is very, very, very easy to do. And it's just point and click, and make sure and to make it easy for you to actually go ahead and stream the content on to your page. So when we go to Streamlabs, the first thing it'll do from the home page, if it'll let me do it, it may not. Let's see if it'll let me go back to the home page. Yes. So when you go to streamlabs.com, it's going to bring you to this page. What it'll ask you here is, do you want to be a Prime subscriber? Where you can pay for the service, which I currently do with this service, to see the extra features and try it out. It'll ask you, here it says dashboard, but I believe if you have not logged in at this point right here, it'll ask you to log in to your preferred stream service. And I believe that Streamlabs is compatible with Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, as well I think it's Periscope. So basically what you would do here is hit login or hit your dashboard. The only prerequisite for getting into the Streamlabs is that you can actually log into Twitch on the same browser that you're using with Streamlabs, and it'll automatically just do an auto login. The first time it'll ask you to allow authorization to your Twitch account, and once you've given it the authorization, it takes you to the landing page for the Streamlabs. With the Streamlabs dashboard, you actually get to see things like things that happened today, donations, revenue, today's follows, today's subscriptions. So it actually links to your account and it tells you things about what's going on for the day. For example, today I got 3 new followers, no new subscriptions, no new revenue at this point. Then actually it does a breakdown and looks at all of your streams and gives you the basic information about each stream. The average person, the average view, the peak view, the follows you received on that stream, as well as the subscriptions you received on that stream. So it just gives you an overview. The section that I like to use and I pay attention to a lot is our stream or CloudBot section. Inside of the CloudBot section, it allows you to do certain things with the service. For an example, and we're here at the Mod Tools, which is the first tab. The Mod Tools allows you to set up certain things inside of your stream so that certain things will or will not happen. You can, for example, have your cap blocks protection. You can have symbol protection, link protections, word protections, and it actually links with your Twitch account or your YouTube account based on which streaming service you're using, and it actually sets those preferences for you. Emote protection, even though we love our people to bombard us with a lot of emotes, if you don't like that option, you have the option of turning that off. What's going on? Salute to you, the blessed one. Thank you for tuning in. We're doing a tech talk today with some music in the background. That's another feature I plan to talk about today because I'm actually using a feature inside of Virtual DJ, which is the auto mix. So basically what it's doing in the background is it's actually running some pre-selected tracks that I have, and it's just actually mixing them in as I program it to mix it at a certain spot. So we'll be talking about that a little bit later on as well. But it allows you to set all these preferences under the Mod Tools. Here is your naming section. Your naming section is where you're allowed to give aliases to the Streamlabs bot. And you hear me talk quite frequently about Club Forest, and that's because I do have a Club Forest ID. And basically what you would do is inside of Twitch, you would actually set up or create a second account, and then from there you're able to add that bot into this field. So it would go here, and you can actually test it on Twitch to make sure that it works. This feature right here is only available if you're actually purchasing Streamlabs Prime service from them. It does not come with the free account. So with the free account, you're able to do the mod tools in the first tab. This tab here is strictly for those who are subscribed to Streamlabs. And it's one of the benefits of having Streamlabs. It also has an importer. So inside of the importer, if you use or decide to switch from one type of service to another, it allows you to actually import the commands and extensions and all the loyalty information from different services, from Stream Elements here, from Nightbot, for example. It'll let you import those there, so you can actually do a switch from one service to the other. In the next tab, you have your modules, where you can turn on certain features as far as chat alerts. If you're doing heisting mini games, if you're gambling, you want to use the media share option that's on Streamlabs. Last week we looked at the media share option that's on Stream Elements, and in my opinion, the Stream Elements option is easier to configure for me than actually configuring the media share option here on Streamlabs. That's why I chose to use that one. And then you can have your 8-ball game, your mini slots, you can do your duels, you can do your combo pyramids, or your emote pyramids and your emote combos. So those are the features here, and you're welcome for the training. A lot of people actually came to me asking me about the different things that happens on my streams, and I was explaining to them how you have the options of using these services to enhance your stream. And if you see there, Miss Sexy E is actually using one of the features, which is the gambling option. And thank you for the host, the blessed one. But I wanted to show people how I get some of the enhancements done on my stream so that certain things happen automatically and certain things are available. And one thing I learned in last week's stream that I'm going to repeat in this week's stream is that people did not know that you can use multiple streaming services at the same time. So currently I have 4 streaming services attached to my Twitch account, which is Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Songbots, and Mobots. They actually run at the same time, and my goal is to seamlessly get them to work in the background. With these services, a lot of them have the option where you can actually, like here on Stream Elements in the naming section, give the bot the alias name, and if I get all the services the alias name of Club Forest, then as far as the stream goes, it looks seamless and nobody sees that I'm using multiple services, even though I am. So this is the, and with everything you have here, you always have an importer option to actually import from another service. I do like that they do that there. And then you have your user management section under your modules, where it actually keeps track of your users and their abilities. So as you can see here, my mods are listed here so that they're able to access and do things inside of my Stream Elements, Streamlabs, while I'm actually doing the stream. So that is the module section itself. The other section that I use a lot of is the command section. Here is where you have your listing of basic commands as well as custom commands that you want to add to your stream. So until recently, majority of my custom commands were actually coming from Streamlabs. I started using them, creating some in Stream Elements, because Stream Elements, which I'm going to also show you on this stream, Stream Elements has an option to where you can give your mods access to your Stream Elements, and they're able to go in there and build your commands and do certain things for you while you're streaming. So basically, here is my list of commands that I have. One that I did want to show you is, I mentioned it last week when I did the Stream Elements one. Before I learned how to use the Capagen option, I actually used to manually build my emote commands. So basically, when you run this command here, !love, it has been set to send out that many hearts. I don't know the number of hearts. I can figure it out. It looks like the number of hearts would be 250 hearts, because there's a 500 character limit on the command, and it's only 2 characters per command. So it's going to launch 250 hearts each time this command is actually put out there. And then you get to say where it's going to go, so you can actually put these commands in people's whispers if you wanted to. You can actually set the level of who gets to use it. And then what I like about it, it doesn't sit there and have you toggle through as in you select. You actually check off who's able to do what. So if it gets to a point that I only want my subscribers to be able to run a certain command as a reward for being a subscriber, all I have to do is uncheck everything else, and subscribers will have the access to run the commands. So that is the custom command section. And one thing that I've been on a few streams that talks about the services out here, but there are some things that I haven't seen them talk about, or maybe I skipped over them, so I am going to bring them up. One thing I do like about all the streaming services is that they do have a listing of the basic commands, that basic syntax to do certain features inside of your custom commands. So if you want certain things out there, you just use the command that they put in place. So like this command here is embedding, and this is what it does. It replaces the max with the maximum number of, or maximum amount of loyalty that a person can bet. So if I use that command somewhere and build a custom command, say you can only build, or you can only use, and then put this max command in there, it's going to tell you right away what you can do with, the max that you can do with that command. And if we scroll down a little bit, you'll see a whole bunch of different things in there. You see the minimum options, timers, the cooldown period command or syntax, custom commands, and it actually allows you to put in this to replace what you wanted to do. So this command will always display your channel name. So every time you put a command that wants to display your channel name, a custom command saying exclamation point channel, welcome to, put this command or the syntax in there, channel name, it automatically puts in your channel name. So as you change your channel name, you don't have to change it in your command. It'll automatically update it, and every time you run that command, it's going to do it from here. If you want to do a display of your channel points, your channel subs, your channel titles, so on and so forth. It's all listed inside of this section here. And like I said, it's a lot of things out there, and you just need to look at it. I know there's a section, and I'm scrolling fast. I know there's a username section. So if you wanted to put certain information in there, for example, user URL right here replaces the user URL with the user stream platform URL. So basically, for example, when you do the shout out commands and the person puts in !SO space Miss Sexy E, it actually, with this command in place, says go find her URL and put it at wherever you put it in the stream. So you say go see Miss Sexy E at, and put in this syntax user.url, and then it actually goes and finds her URL and displays it inside of the chat room. And I'll show you an example of that in a minute. So it has a whole lot of syntax. So it's a lot of stuff that you can actually do with the with your custom commands. And I'm going to go back to custom commands and just show you one example of what I mean. So here is my SO command. So this command reads checkout. So let me back up. If I say in here, or if I say on the chat room, !SO space Miss Sexy E, Miss Sexy E becomes the target name. So then it says in the command, check out Miss Sexy E, because she's the target name, and she's also the target URL. So over at target URL, it automatically goes out and finds her URL, and then it puts it here in the command, and then the remaining syntax. And if I'm going too fast, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to put it in the chat. I will actually stop and address the questions as they come up. So that is the custom option for your commands inside of Stream Elements. The other section that I like to use is the timer option. And here's what the timer option does. It allows you to create a custom message and set the interval that message will pop up in your screen, or excuse me, in your stream, in your chat room. And it does it by two parameters: by time, the interval, giving a time frame of how long you wanted to wait to send it, in 5 minutes or in minutes, and then also a minimum line number. And for me, it's a good feature because it starts off with the expectation that you have a small audience. So it gives you a timing interval that says if you don't have a lot of people in the room, I'm going to display this message every 5 minutes. And that's basically what this does here. I name the timer your support. It says Club Force would like to thank you, and let's look at the whole thing. It says Club Force would like to thank you for all that you do to make this stream a success. Please feel free to host or share this stream. Again, I have it set for 5 minutes or 15 line minimum. So what this says is that every 5 minutes, or every time there are 15 people putting a command in the chat, display this message. So as the room gets bigger, I may want to extend this line number to a larger number so that it doesn't constantly come up. And then I could set it for every 5 minutes, or every time 100 people make a comment or 100 lines are displayed, bring this message up. And then to make sure that they don't come back to back to back, each timer has its own set parameters. So I got my mods, my follow the mods, for example, and my follow the mods basically says, here's a list of my moderators and what I call them and their URL so that you can follow them. I have it set to come up every 30 minutes or every 5 lines. So I got it flip-flop like that just to see how to respond. So if I get a ton of people coming into the chat at one time and they all say hello, how you doing, it brings that up more often and say, hey, follow my mods. But if the room is empty or at a lower number and you have and everybody's staying in the chat and not coming and going, and you don't need to let them know to follow the person no more than once, it'll just pop up every 30 minutes in case somebody new comes in the room. So that's kind of how you set all that up so that you can say, hey, I only want this to come up really if a bunch of people are in the room. But if it's nobody in the room, I only want to come up every so often. That's what that says to me. Yes, it is. It is very cool, very cool. And then some commands, they are set, which this one I may, because this one doesn't come up enough. And it actually lists the commands for Club Force. So I think we're gonna make this come up. It's coming up either every 15 minutes, and I think I wanna do this from now on every 10 commands. This will allow people to see the commands that they can use, and the mods don't have to overwork themselves constantly telling you, hey, these commands are available. So we're gonna go ahead and save that. So what should happen is it should be instantaneous. So now with that command, every 5 lines, let's do this. I want to add to that. Every 5 lines, let's do 10 and 10. So it's 10 lines. So either 10 lines or 10 minutes. The commands are going to come up in the screen automatically and say, hey, you can use these commands on Club Force. And see, that's great, especially when you're doing anniversary streams, birthday streams, things of that nature. It allows you to put your preset messages up there and constantly make it available without having the mods to do extra work. There's also a section over here, which I don't use. It's actually called quotes, where you can actually go out there and find quotes, and much like the timer section, you can have it have them fired off in certain intervals. So let's take a look at it. So it actually has a quote where you can type a quote in. You can say where the quote is coming from by game, it says, but I'm sure you can kind of do that on your own, and who it was added by. It's a feature that's there. I haven't really researched it to see if I want to use this feature or not. I may want to use this probably more on Sundays, even though I have for scripture and things of that nature, even though I have a preset one that I do, I would probably use this because then I could put multiple ones in there and then have a listing of scripture for people, or even listings of quotes from people to help them through their day. Then you have your Q section. And I'm not going to say I know what this is, but it looks like it's set up to go with gaming. I don't know what that feature is. I haven't explored that feature at all to tell you what that feature can do. Here is your loyalty settings. In here in your loyalty settings, It goes in conjunction with your gaming or your gambling options inside of the stream, and it actually assigns points to people as they enter the room, and as they do certain things based on what you set them, they'll accumulate points. So on this service, I have it turned off, so it's not accumulating points. But what would happen is I have it set to add points every 0.8 hours, to add points based on what just them being in the stream. And then there's extra options that are happening inside the gambling section to add on top of that. But in here, I can also actually manually add points and say, based on that time watch, they can actually see what, they can actually accumulate more points that way. And I'm looking here at your comment right there, the blessed one. And let's take a look at that. Add it to the queue. And it says, I like the idea of using quotes. That might be what some people are using to post scriptures. And that is the case. That's true. That is exactly what they're probably doing. Some people do that. And I, for example, I don't do that, but I do put scripture up. I actually use a custom command. So let's go back to custom commands. And I have a command for the word of the day. And basically, I go look up a scripture for the day. And where some people like to have multiple quotes, for me, that helps me be on point with two things. One, I know what scripture content I'm giving the listener, and I'll say it, and some people don't agree with what I'm about to say, but it is kind of the truth. Just because it's in scripture, it doesn't apply necessarily to you. So you should find scripture that is beneficial to the user, and not just because it's written down. So I like to look it up because I want to make sure, hey, this is pertinent to you. This is something you need to know, because there are things in scripture that is just, and I don't want to say it's irrelevant, it's just information for you. And I can give you a great example. If I gave you a scripture that gave you a lot of Tom begot Ralph, that begot George, that begot Ralph again, that begot Thomas, then that really doesn't mean anything to you unless I include everything that happened before and after those scripture reference. It's more important for me to look up what happened before and after the begots to tell you, to give you more information in regards to scripture. So I like to look it up myself and not just put scripture out there for the sake of putting scripture out there. So that the quote option would be great for that. The other thing that's out there that I should be using more of, because I have it set up, is that there is a loyalty store. And we'll get to that in a moment. So you can actually create something here and give them loyalty for it. So now you could even give them a stream perk, a sound effects, or an access code. You can name it, give it a description, And basically what this does is give in-house rewards for things that you want to do. For example, inside of your channel points, it gives you the option of being able to do certain commands with your channel points. You can actually assign some of that stuff in here so that, in addition to Twitch, so that you can have it available for the customer or for the streamer, and you can make it a stream perk, a sound effect, or an access code. Yeah, and loyalty points is something that I'm working on in my stream. And if you haven't noticed inside of the stream now, there are actual extra perks that weren't in there earlier in my streams. You now even have sounds and certain things that you can actually request. And when you request it, it puts that sound inside of the live stream. So loyalty points, to me, is a way to keep your listener engaged while you do what you're doing. And it's kind of like the fact that I have music playing in the background so that you have something to listen to or vibe to while you're listening to me give you the explanation of how the service works. The next section they have here is your polling services. And then in this section, you can actually keep your polls. And I haven't done this in a while. In here, you can actually start live polls. I think the last poll I did here is one time, I believe this was on a Sunday. They asked, should I keep playing music, keep streaming, or should I go ahead and raid the DJ Unique, who was next, who was my planned person to raid. So, the way it would happen is I would actually start that. It would actually pop up in the stream, but it doesn't pop up the same way it does inside of Twitch. I like this Twitch poll better because the Twitch poll sits at the top of the screen and you can actually bring the pull down menu and select your option. Where here, once I start the poll, you have to use the corresponding number to get the poll to respond to the poll. And if somebody comes in, if somebody comes in and wants to use that number for something else, it'll kind of mess up your number. So I didn't want to go with that option. The next section is your betting section. And you can add betting parameters for whatever you want to do as far as your stream. Very good question right there. So DeBless says, I wish I could have emotes even though I'm not a streamer. They're good when I'm lurking while tending to my daughter. So you want to be able to have your own personal emotes. A lot of people want their own personal emotes. I can't say this with a certainty. I know that they have updated the way emotes happen, and you are rewarded your emotes by becoming affiliate. But if you're not a streamer, I'm not sure how you can get emotes, but I think they're working on a way to get emotes, because I found a lot of streamers or listeners actually want emotes for their own personal usage. So yeah, when I find out about that, I'll probably let everybody know about that, because there's a lot of people, they told me they just want to be on Twitch to use emotes. And it sounds funny, it's some listeners that actually go and follow certain streamers, not because they like their streams, but because they like their emotes. So some people will actually subscribe and cheer a streamer just to use all of their emotes. What's going on there, Ambassador? Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the host. I appreciate you. Oh, you are the emote follower. Okay. So I'm gonna have to be real creative with my emotes. Cause I don't mind. Everybody at the end of the day is out here to make some type of profit or make some revenue off of these streams, but it's not my primary goal. I like interacting with people, and I can interact with people, and here comes the funny part, without interacting with people. And I like that, because sometimes people can get in the way of you being interactive with people because of, finish the sentence, their day, bad attitudes, good attitudes, their view of life. They keep, they're on their own plane. But when you're here, those little things don't seem so in the way, and you're allowed to interact more with the person. So I really like it that way here. So this is where your betting profile is. And then the last section under that is your giveaways, where you can actually give away certain items based on what you have. And one thing that these streaming services allow or have, they do have their own merch store where you can actually create merchandise that you're able to sell and give away. And you can actually add the giveaways and stuff here to where if you select add a giveaway, it's going to ask you what you want to give away. Merch is coming directly off of the streaming services merch store. Custom is when you're doing your own personal giveaways. I know one streamer who was a DJ who was had a I want to say a raffle where they were giving away three what was the, I want one so bad and I forget, S11s. They were giving away 3 S11s, which are mixers, to DJs, and you had to purchase X amount of raffle tickets to be considered in the raffle. So basically you can name what you're giving away. You can say how long the giveaway is. You can say who's eligible for it. And then you can give the description parameters of the giveaway. And in the advanced section, here's where you can set the cost of the ticket, the minimum number or the maximum number of tickets a user can buy to make the purchase. And then you can add bonus tickets on top of that. So it is yes, because that's the next thing I'm going to go to. Because with that, you can add giveaways to, and you can actually do merch. And then if you look over here, and I believe it's the App Store. See, I don't go in here enough to even know if it's, I believe it's the App Store. Let's see. Nope, the App Store is something else. Yep, that's where you get overlays and stuff. So there should be, let's look under monetize. Let's see what we got here. Merchandise, there we go. And y'all excuse me, the wheel on this mouse is not working the best. So you can go into the merch store, and The one thing I do like about Streamlabs that I didn't see with the other streaming services is when you enter a section, there's always a tutorial on how to use it that is on YouTube that Streamlabs actually sets up so that you're able to know exactly how to run their feature. I like that about Streamlabs. So basically, you have your section and you can actually do your giveaway from here. If you want to, and here's a great example. If you want to do a custom giveaway, you could order your merch at cost and then have it shipped to you to physically give out, or you can have it done straight from your merch store. And basically, it allows you to create merchandise. So currently, here's my merchandise for my radio station. I have my Music Sessions 313 coffee cup, Music Sessions 313 mask, Music Session, well, actually Fresh Pootie phone case, and then your flow cover for those people who don't want to use masks. They can actually pull it over their face. So this is stuff that's in my merchant store that you can actually purchase from me, and I will probably make it more of an automated command than waiting for me to actually put the command in there to say that you can buy my merchandise. But it has the merchandise and it gives you the cost and the profit off of each sale. So you, and like I say, most of the streaming services has this feature in here. Stream Elements has this feature in here as well. I just haven't used the Stream Element option because depending on the service, you may have limited merchandise that you can sell. Since I am a subscriber or prime customer on Streamlabs, I can actually make as many items as I like by going to the item section and creating my new merch. And then I just upload my whatever my art design is, and then go from there and make it available to the stream. So that is one of the many features that are inside of here. You actually have a charity section where you can actually do charity events. You got pay-per-view sections when you're doing and airing special content. You can actually have them purchase tickets to actually see that event on your stream. So that's in your monetized section. One of my favorite sections is what's going on, Real Tax Talk. That's okay. You're never late. You're on time. Anytime you hear, you on time. You can be late to anything else but dinner. How about that? So one of my favorite features here is the widgets. And this is a little different than Stream Elements. When we did the tutorial on Stream Elements, everything you did, you had to create the overlay as well as set up the parameters of it. The thing I like about this is that some of these things are preset. So you just, when you set the programming, it actually creates the overlay as well. And yes, this is Streamlabs. So in here, you can do a lot of things. You can set up alert boxes, chat boxes. You can set up donation goals. You can set up emote walls. You can set up stream labels, media share, which is the option. I still like the way it's configured on Stream Elements than here, even though it's an easy one-click option. Your viewer counts, your tip tickers, your follower goals, your tip jars, your stream bosses, your end credits, which is a feature I'm just starting to use here, the end credits. And then there is your bit goals. You can set your goals and actually display it on your channel, your sub goals, your banners, your spin wheel for your prizes when you're gambling, your donation section. So it has a whole lot of options here. Your charity donations and your polls that go on to that goes onto the actual stream and not into the actual chat room. So let's take a look at one of them. The one I currently use is my follower goal. And one note that I have noticed about this, and why I picked this one, because I know it needs updating. I believe the problem with some of these alerts is that they're only available and they're only active when your stream is active or when your OBS is turned on. And Stream Elements is the wrong service. Streamlabs considers you turning on OBS or your streaming software. Some people use OBS, some people use OBS Live, Streamlabs OBS, some use Virtual DJ, some use and it escapes my mind. It's the most popular one of the DJ softwares out there that just start having the streaming option. Serato, that's it. So whatever streaming service you have the ability of putting the URL links in there. So whenever you have those turned on, that's when it'll actually start counting the actual number of whatever you're doing. And I say that to say, for example, in my inside of my follower goal, it says I have 971 viewers or 71 followers, where according to Twitch I have 979 followers, and that's because 8 people actually followed me while I had OBS off. Well, I'm glad you came to the right place today. So what I'm going to do here is, because it is off, I'm going to correct it and then show you actually how to set up an alert at the same time. So what we're going to do is we're going to end this goal and then we'll start from scratch. So it's very simple, very easy to do. You just set up your parameters for the follower goal. So I name it path to 1,000. It asks you what your follower goal is. My follower goal will be 1,000. And I know how to fix that, the ambassador. We'll talk about that next. So here it asks you what the starting amount is. So right now I'm at 979 followers. So I put that number here, and then I project the date that I want that completed. So we're going to put 7/31/2021. It wants the 4-digit year. So now I'll put the start goal. The goal is saved. It is now updated. All I need to do now is take this URL, copy it, I'm pausing because I have to remember some things here. So we're gonna get ready to switch over to I want the display capture, and the display capture should have OBS. Gotcha. Wonderful. So once we've copied the URL, we can come over to OBS. And when you come over to OBS, you simply just go here and you want to add browser source. I don't think I have followers up here because I didn't do it on this profile. So we're going to name it followers. It's going to bring this window up. We put in the URL we just copied. And then we hit OK. Voila. There is the follower goal. So now with it, and you're seeing me do it inside of OBS because I use the studio mode so that I can do quick edits before I actually let you see it. So I have my follower goals up here. And then when I hit transition, now it's live on the stream. The thing I like about this is you only have to copy the URL one time. Every time you update that, and let me switch screens here one more time. Every time you update this section, it automatically goes to the URL, so it'll make the change live. So that's the one thing I do like about it. You don't have to worry about recopying the URL every time you make a change to a setting. So now, with the ambassador, I saw your question, and that is the ambassador's question. I had problems with the role credits. And yes, Aurora Eatery, it is real simple. It is www.streamlabs.com. I can put it in the chat for you. And I'm just answering this question here. So I'm answering that question here. So you just go to www.streamlabs.com, and then it'll ask you to log in with your whichever service you're using. So it does it with Twitch, it does it with YouTube, I believe it does it with Facebook, and I believe it does it with Periscope. I'm not 100% sure about Periscope, but the key is on the browser that you have access to your streaming service or your streaming outlet. You just open it up and click that particular streaming service, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and then a screen will come up to ask for access to that particular streaming platform, and then it'll allow you to configure it once you're there. So we're going to go back to, oops. We're going to go back to the ambassador's question. And his question was, or statement is, he had a problem with the roll credits. And I believe, when you say the roll credits, you are talking about inside the widgets. And you're talking about the end credits, is that correct? And let me do that. I'm multitasking here. So www.streamlabs.com. Okay, so we'll go to the end credit section. You do the same and you do it here. So here's your test screen. And when you hit test, it actually it does it based on what is going on in your stream while it's live. So, and the example here is giving you what would be happening if these things were happening on my stream right now. So if I would have gotten some cheers, I'd have got some new subscribers, some new followers, their names would actually go in this section. And then inside of here, you can actually determine what theme you want to use. And I want to change themes just for the sake of it. So that's the stream, that's the settings I want to use. And did you notice when I did that, how your information started coming up? I got a raid from DJ Unique, all that stuff's there. So what I would do is copy this URL. Come over here to Stream Elements. Determine what scene I want it on. So like this is my ending scene. And we're not ending, but I'll show you what it looks like. So that's my ending scene. I really don't want to mess with that. So let's create a new scene and call it credits. So now I have a new scene for credits. I go plus, browser, name it end credits, just to not confuse OBS, because you can't use the same name over and over again. It'll freak out. So now I put in the URL for my end credits. Size it to my screen. And then the key that I've learned, even though that's the preview, and that's still the wrong, well, let's do this. I think I know what the problem is. So we're gonna go back to here. I forgot to do something inside of the browser. So let's go back to the browser. That's the format I want, right? Okay, just give me a second here. I'm going to switch mice because this mouse scrolling wheel is not working the way I want it to work. All right, there we go. It's very important to hit save. So now with save hit, what should happen and like I said, it's the beautiful thing about Streamlabs. Once you have the URL, it's done. So now it is working with the new setting. So it's giving you everything that's happened on my channel right now. The thing that I've learned you have to do to make sure it actually makes it to your stream, even though it's in the preview, is inside of Streamlabs. You have to tell it roll credits live. So this makes it update everything and gives you the latest information. So as soon as you hit that, then it updates this section, which then should update inside of OBS. So if I go to roll credits, and then if I do the transition over, voila. So it's right now telling you the moderators, who's hosting right now or hosted, who rated me. And then once I get subs, once I get cheers, it gets added when I hit that go to live option on the Streamlabs. Did that help out? Well, it's only going to give me new followers. So remember when I said I had to update the followers because OBS was not active? The same thing applies to that. So those 8 people that joined today, they followed me when I wasn't on a live stream. So they will not come up in the end credits. They will only come up in the end credits if they follow while the stream is active. Does that make sense, The Blessed? But as people do things on the channel, then this would auto update. And then again, I would actually update it by scrolling to the top and hit roll credits live, because it's out of preview mode when I do that. So that's how that works. Did that help out at any ambassador? Yep, you'll put it in the chat as we go on. So we're going to go on to the next portion. And the next portion, we were already in the widget. So do we have any other questions about widgets? And what they do, the emote wall. This is how you can display your emotes that pop up on your streams inside of Stream Labs, as opposed to the Capuchin and Stream Elements. Now, thank you very much for the host. Now, to show you what I mean, I'm going to switch back over to the end credits. Now, host, the blessed one, and the ambassador with one. Real Text Talk just did the this host option. So now if I go back to end credits, and I'm not going to switch the screen for it, end credits in OBS, inside of Streamlabs, and then hit it. Did you notice how it flashed and then it updated everything? And haha, you didn't update everything. How about that? You just made me a liar. Host. Oh, there it is. Nope, there it is. Okay, now it's updated. So now that I've hit update, Real Text Talks recent host is now added. So the idea is behind this is that you don't run it to the end of your stream, so all of your transactions have transpired, and then when you hit roll credits, it's going to grab the latest information, and hopefully nobody does anything after the fact. So that's how the end credits work. And we'll go back to the widgets. Your alert box is what actually displays in your room who did what. And it's a whole bunch of parameters that you can actually update. The different layouts. You can actually set it to change the different layouts automatically. It'll sit there and replace bad words with explanation point. And we noticed that whenever Miss Sexy E does something, sometimes it takes the SEX out of her name. And then you can actually custom bad words that you can blacklist. And then that's the general parameters. And then you can go into the different subheadings and determine what's going to happen in those subheadings. So even though this is the general setting, when a follower comes in, so I got the general setting here like this. But if I want a follower alert to come up separate, I just change it. So I can change it to this one. Well, I'll change it to this one. And then explain how this is going to go. And then remember when I told you there are variables that you can use in the custom command? Here's an example of one. So the name. So it says name here. So anytime somebody does something, the name will be replaced with the user and what type of animation they got, the custom image that was selected, which is that one right there, Daniel Bryan going yes, yes, yes. If I wanted to put volume, if there's audio to this, I can set the volume at a certain level so it doesn't bleed over the music if I don't want it. How long I wanted to sit up there, and the delay of the text. And this is something that I need to look into because I notice my alerts happen minutes after the actual event. I got to figure out in these settings how to make it coincide actually with the actual request. So inside of subscriptions, I have a whole different logo. And then I can change it to that logo. If somebody gives me a donation, there's my donation, and then my default sound. For hosts, there's my default picture and default sound. And then I can actually switch that over. And I can go across the board if I get a raid. What's going to happen with a raid? That's my raid alert. So on and so forth. Once I've configured it, save settings, and then go, just like everything else, scroll up, copy the URL, and then put it into my OBS. And then the Bless has a question up that I want to take a look at. So just give me a second. I'll put it up on the screen. And it says, at DJ The Force, I know it's extra work, but I appreciate you posting exactly what your stream was about. I had to come in and learn. Well, if we're doing share for share, we should be sharing everything and not keep secrets. I think the biggest issue that we have in some areas is that people keep things hush hush, or they don't want to discuss it, and people need help with stuff and nobody's out there trying to give it to you. And I've been on streams where people have asked questions and they go, there's a post on YouTube how to do that. And sometimes I think, well, that's kind of not good unless it's your own YouTube stream. Like I actually did a posting for or a video on that particular subject. So if you go look at my YouTube page, there's the answer to your question. But if you're just doing it because you know somebody's out there, and here's my thing, especially if you're doing a tech talk, it would be silly to say, I'm gonna teach you how to use something, and then your answer is always go to YouTube and look it up. It kind of defeats the purpose. The idea is show me how to do it, and then I got it. So the ambassador now has a question. And it says, so the roll credits show when the eye is on, or do I have to push refresh before I roll the credits? Well, the idea is that the credits roll at the end of your stream. So you let everything happen. And then when you say, hey, this is the end of my stream, I thank everybody for coming in. Then on Streamlabs, you actually go and hit roll credits. And then you can actually transition to your credit screen, which will be updated with the latest information. And I know Real Tax Talk, I've been told that too. And sometimes I sit up there and I ask a question. I'm like, I'm not a person who doesn't research. So if I come and ask you a question, 9 times out of 10, I couldn't find it. Or I didn't know the right words to string together to pull the video up. That's why I'm asking. And I said it is a little different than saying, oh, here's a video on that, and then I put the link in the chat, as opposed to say, go look it up on YouTube. Yes. So the idea with Streamlabs is that they want you to use Streamlabs OBS, where the Streamlabs OBS is integrated into Streamlabs website. So then those features are built into their version of OBS, so you don't have to go to their website to look to do those things. But if you're not using their OBS version, then you have to go to the website to actually run the command. And see, that's different than Stream Elements, because Stream Elements will let you install a plugin to use on OBS Studio. And that's why I say the different streaming services have their own different way of doing stuff, and you can benefit from using multiple streams at the same, or multiple streaming services at the same time. And that's the question I'm answering from the ambassador. Yes. So that and it took me a while to figure that out. Just before you're ready to go on and run your credits, you hit roll credits, and then it actually updates the information live and then starts putting the information in. And I noticed that because one time I hit it by accident, and it actually said to me, your stream needs to be active for this feature to work. And I'm like, oh, well, duh, that makes sense. So that is one of the many features here inside of, because we're on the alert still. So that, like I said, you can go down the list and just list everything you want to do. And then it actually allows you to test everything. And the beautiful part about it testing is that we'll actually send it to OBS while you're offline or online to your stream. So if you want to test something, then you hit the test button, and then it actually sends it to your screen in OBS. Anytime the ambassador, that's what we're here for, to make sure that everybody understands how everything works. It makes us run a whole lot better, a whole lot smoother than trying to bumble through it. And I'll say this, I started doing stuff like this, or decided to do this, because I bumbled through a lot of stuff. And a little off topic, but kind of why I'm doing that. So with all the struggles that I went through to go through the different stages of using Twitch, using OBS, using all these different services, when the rest of Club Force started to come on board, meaning JB Wright 77, Miss Sexy E, One Day, Boss Lady 31, One Day DJ Little Lady, they have a fast path to getting all this stuff done, because all this has been researched, and all they need to do is go through the steps, or I can take them through the steps so that they can get this stuff done. So that's when I thought to myself, it's probably people out there who really want to improve their stream, but they don't know two things. They don't know how to do it, and they don't have time to do it. And that's where your mods come in and help a lot, because with some of these services, you're able to give them access to your streaming service as well as your platform, so that they can help you set some of these things up. Hey, that didn't go up there. Let's try it again. Well, I was putting Aurora Eatery's comment up there, but it's not functioning at the moment. So let me do this here. Did we break it? Did we break it, y'all? Let me refresh the chat.
Oh, damn.
Or the chat featured site, the featured chat site. Okay, I think featured chat actually went down, so it's not letting me use it to put up your comments. But yes, over the next few days, you're going to go ahead and use Streamlabs. Hey, if you need any help, let me know. If it's a specific feature that you need assistance with, I can, walk you through it. I can even decide to do future text talks on that particular item that you are needing help with. And hopefully it's something that is a feature I discuss, and I can say, hey, let's go back to the video. I think that portion was in minute 15. Yep, the chat option actually went down on me, so we'll be doing this without that until it comes back up. And I believe that's what, to me, that's what support for support means. It doesn't mean if I come in your room and I like you, I follow you. It doesn't just mean that I like you, follow you, and then every so often come in your stream. It doesn't mean that I actually cheer you bids, or it doesn't always mean that I have to give you buy subscriptions or gift subscriptions. It's about making a whole package to make it the best stream possible. Especially since a lot of these features can be hosted on the internet, and it's not taking away a lot of the resources of your computer to make it work. Because I know in the future Tech Talk, I'm going to talk about some of the other services that are out there, namely Restream and StreamYard, that give you the option of putting a lot of this information or a lot of the details of your stream on the browser as your main interface. So it's using the internet to give you that information, and you're only connecting to that main overlay. So I'm looking and see how that happens, because if you can put a lot of these commands strictly on the web, that takes a lot of stress off your computer, and you can actually do more things in the background on your computer. And I am looking at it and I just started looking at the other services today and seeing what they do. It looks like there's like very limited things you can put up there. I know it looks like, for an example, anything that you want to be your background still has to be local to your computer, because it doesn't know how to, there's no way you can layer it so that whatever's on the browser is your background, unless you're streaming directly from the browser. And some of these services let you do that, so that you have absolutely no processor. Well, I won't say absolutely no. You have very limited processor use going on, because everything's being hosted from a web page. So there are a lot of things out there to help us get ourselves going, because some of us don't know how to do the installation of OBS or OBS Live, OBS Studio, then sit here and go through all the sources and scene and add everything. And unless you got somebody that's pretty tech savvy helping you with that, it becomes a very difficult task to do. And like I say, fortunately for Club Force has me. So a lot of the stuff that they want to do, or try to do, if they can't figure it out, I'm just a phone call away, or I'm in the next room, especially in the case of Miss Sexy E. So that's basically my overview of Streamlabs. One thing I'll recap on that I did talk about at the beginning of the stream is one of the features that I just mentioned, the mod tool, where you can actually go here and you can add who has access to your remote service, and then they have the ability of selecting. I'm looking here to see if it's here. So in here, it does not show me. So I have to see how you're able to get your mods access to your stream elements here. But I do want to do a quick one because I started it last week. I couldn't find it last week because somebody decided to upgrade their web page on me while I was doing the chat or the actual tech talk. So I want to go to Stream Elements here real quick. Here's another service that you can use. I won't go as I did it last week. I won't go as in detail as I did last week, but basically you have the features inside, basically the same features that you have in Stream Elements. Streamlabs you have in Stream Elements with a little bit different twist to it. So it gives you the same information. You have your chat bots, you have your commands, just like everything else. You have your custom command section. And if you notice, that little circling red light says that it knows I'm live. So there are the additional commands that I use for my stream. But the two features I wanted to show you is one, we'll go to my channels. So now you have the option in Stream Elements to give access to your mods, and then your mods are able to build everything for you. So I am JB Wright 77's mod. I am Miss Sexy E's mod. So if I know they need something, I can go in here and make it available to them. I can select their profile, and I'll select Miss Sexy E's, because if she don't want me to, she'll just tell me no. And she didn't tell me no, y'all, so we're gonna look at it. So in Stream Elements, I am now assuming Miss Sexy E's information. Because I'm not Miss Sexy E, certain information is not given to me. So I will not know her stats, her monetary goals will not be available to me. I will be able to see, just like everything else, who followed her and if they cheered, what they cheered, and when they cheered it. But it won't give me her running totals, which is beautiful, and it protects her. But what I mean by this, by saying we can assume them, so I now can go into her chat bot, go into her commands, go to her custom commands, and then I can build commands for her live while she's streaming. So if you've been on a stream with one of these two and they say something, they would say something like, I surely could use this command, and then 30 seconds later it's there, is because all I need to do is assume their role and then go in there and create the command for them real time. And Streamlabs would be easier for some people to bless one. Like I said, I think Streamlabs has that feature. I just haven't researched to see how do you give access to it, because I gave them permission to access my Streamlabs, but I don't see it doesn't have that quick switch over like it does in Stream Elements. That's what I like about Stream Elements. Like I say, each service has its own little tweaks that make that service stand out different, not necessarily better, but stands out different than the other streaming services. So I would say I can assume their role, and I have access. I can turn on and off any feature that they need, and it doesn't take them away from them actually looking to. It doesn't take them away from the stream. It doesn't take them away from what they're doing. So if they're engaged with the person and they need something done, I can do it in the background real quick. And just to give you an example, I'll show you a feature inside of that's both in Stream Elements and Streamlabs, but I want to do it for Miss Sexy E because I started doing it for myself. So one of the features that it has here is the Capuchin feature. And the Capuchin feature is that feature that makes everything pop up. You sent me a whisper? Sure, no problem. I have no problem doing that. So the one thing that you can do inside of Stream Elements is, and you can do it both in both of them, you can create aliases. So this is the command that is by default. So I want to put a new command in there to make it simple for the mods and for Miss Sexy E to run the command for Capuchin. So I'm going to add a new command or alias command and call it boom. So now boom is added. And even though I did it on Miss Sexy E's, I've already done it on mine. So I have not put, let me see if I've added the Capuchin on this profile. And what I like to do, just so you understand, I have a different profile for different things I'm doing. So when I'm DJing, I have one profile. When I am doing a tech talk, I'm doing another profile, because they have their own just about ready. Okay. They have their own scenes and own screens, and I don't have to remember what's what and switch over to this, because I know over here this is set primarily, this profile here that I'm on is set primarily for gaming and text talk. So everything is set, and just give you an example, from me being in a seated position as opposed to my DJ profile where my cameras and everything is set for me standing, and they have their own settings so that those cameras will pick me up. That way I don't have to keep adjusting cameras and remembering what cameras where. I just have it set up to say, all right, if I'm standing, this camera will catch me, so I use this profile. If I'm sitting, this camera will catch me, so I can do it sitting down. So with that alias command, what happens is, if I use the Capuchin command, my Capuchin command does that. So what I've done to simplify that now is I've given an alias command, so you don't even have to know how to spell Capuchin. And now the command is just boom. And if I use the command boom, the same thing happens. So those are little things, little things I wanted to bring to your attention to help you improve your stream. So I got a few minutes left on the time that I wanted to cover all this, and I basically covered everything I wanted to talk about today. Do we have any questions in regards to what we're doing now? Anything about Streamlabs, Stream Elements? And if you have some Twitch browser questions, I can answer some of them too. I do plan to do a tech talk on how to use Twitch directly from the browser without having to use these services, because there are certain things that are out there that streamers are not aware of. For an example, you can actually give your mods the ability to conduct your raids by switching into editor mode. Look at y'all and y'all booms. But you can actually switch your moderator into editor mode, and with them being in editor mode, they're able to conduct and run your raids. They will also have the ability to edit content on your page. So I would be very careful on who you would allow access to. I will say that I have, well, the count was just up here. I believe I have 7 mods, but not all 7 mods are editors. Only a couple of mods are editors, because I want them to be able to conduct certain things so that I don't have to take my focus off what I'm doing as far as providing either the content of the tech talk or if I'm actually doing music, because I'm not going to say every DJ has this problem, but some of us can walk or chew bubblegum. We can't walk and chew bubblegum. So either I'm going to be a DJ or I'm going to be a mod. And if I'm being a mod, it's going to affect the music. And if I'm going to be playing music, it's going to affect me being a mod. So I give them access to access certain features so that I don't have to focus on doing that. Well, I sure understand, and that's kind of why I did this. And I say this: there's a lot of people or a lot of streamers who are doing things of this type, but you have to have knowledge of their existence to be able to find those streams. I know of 3 people that do it in a whole lot more detail than I do, but if you don't know they exist, you don't go there. So in a lot of cases, I do go to their streams, see what they're talking about, and then bring it back here so that you guys can learn from it. I'm just reading your comment there, Aurora. But that's what we're here for. And again, as I was saying earlier, that's the idea for me with support for support. I show you how to use it. I show you how to get stuff going. And then you run across a struggling streamer, and now you know the information. You can pass it on to that streamer, and then when that streamer has it down pat, they can go ahead and replicate that. And then everybody is supporting everybody. And to me, that is support for support. It's not always about follows. It's not always about subscriptions. It's not always about cheering. It's about making the stream the best stream possible. I know Real Tax Talk. I know. That's how I found streamers such as yourself, not specifically you right away, but streamers such as yourself that actually put that idea in my head. It's more than just following. It's about making sure the streamer is the best streamer they are. That's right. And you will hear me say that sometime. You will actually hear me answer a question for somebody and then say, oh, this helped out. Thank you for us. And I'll just say my job is done. All right, y'all. The what is this called again? The feature chat is now back. I guess they fixed their server. And yep, it's back. Look at that. And that's the way I look at it. If I can help somebody, if I can get somebody to do, to be a better streamer, then my job is done. And again, I'll say it like this. For a great deal of us, a lot of this is that we actually want to have some type of monetary reward from it. We're trying to promote ourselves, trying to get ourselves in better positions. But that's not the primary goal. The primary goal is to provide support. And if you provide the support and if you give them what they need, they'll come to you. Because I tell people all the time, when you come to my stream, each one bring one. If you believe that my content is so wonderful, the next time you come, make sure you bring somebody with you. And I'll say this, even with Miss Sexy E, she's Miss Sexy E. She is Lady Force. So I'm going to support her because she's Lady Force. But when she goes on, I try and bring as many people with me as I can. When I come to your streams, I try and bring as many people as I can. And that's why I have the Club Force banner, because I'll be like, I just want you to know I'm supporting you. I'm here. That person is Club Force. That person is Club Force. That person is Club Force. That way you know I'm not coming by myself. And here, yep, you're right. Real Text Talk. I don't look for it as a monetary thing, but more of a help for them as they have helped me. And my thing with that, I get it. I agree with that. And my thing with that is, I'm here for support. I'm here to help you out. If you're here and you truly enjoy what you're getting, you're going to bring other people here. They're going to want to know about this. They're going to help support your stream in multiple ways. One of the ways will be monetarily. That gives me room to give you better content when I do my streams. This is people don't. Well, I won't say people. Some people have seen my streams from the beginning to today, and the difference of my streams today as a year ago is day and night. And I'm coming up on my 1 year streaming on Twitch this month on the 19th. And I do think I have a couple of early streams that I recorded. And I think I'm actually going to run one or two of them to let you just see how things have progressed over the last year. And that's kind of where, for me, it comes in with the extra support, and even the monetary issue comes in, because it allows me to give you better content. And because where a lot of people were unfortunate during COVID to not be able to worked through the entire COVID period. I was one of the people who was able to do so. I haven't missed a day. I haven't been put in danger of COVID either. Thank you. But so I was not as fortunate as some. Some people actually came here to supplement the income that they missed because they were no longer working, and it worked out for them. I talked to one of the streamers today. He's, after a year, finally going back to work because where he lost his job due to COVID, and there was no replacement. There was no recall back to that job, so he had to actually find a new job, and he was able to secure it today and start on the 26th of this month. So I don't knock anybody who's out there using this as a platform for revenue, because that may be the only revenue they're getting. And this is a place where it could be a lucrative option if you have the time, the talent, and the ability to do it. But I find those that are not seeking monetary goals seem to skyrocket on these streams. Just my opinion, not actually fact, just my opinion. So, do we have any other questions that we may have out there regarding how to use any of the services that we talked about? Well, no, here's a question. Let's see. And that's the goal. That's the best goal right there. And I'll say this, that's people, no matter what you are doing. If you give them a service that they want to pay for or that they want to support, they are more apt to do it than if they have to pay for it and if they have to support it. I got you, Aurora. I can do that. We can also do a Zoom meeting if you want me to see what's going on. And a future Tech Talk, I'm going to look at one of the other streaming services that allows you to have hosts on your live streams. And then in that scenario, I would have just given you a URL link to connect your computer to, and then we could have done everything on the stream. Okay. Well, we can do it over the phone. I have to say, and it's comic. I say this comically. I am a call center analyst by a career or profession. So the one thing I do all day, every day, is explain stuff to people over the phone, even that requires visual help. I've gotten to the point where I'm used to actually just walking you through it just on the phone. So that's not an option. I mean, that is an option. That's not a problem. And then to kind of give you an understanding, not only do I stream Twitch, I am also the media admin for my church. So I actually conduct all of their online programming. So I do all their Zoom meetings. I do all their YouTube content. Okay, cool, 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 cool. All right, and I hope that this tech talk was very helpful. And it is Tuesday. Engagement management. I'm looking at the board to see who's online. And at Real Tax Talk, my job is done. That's the goal. If you give them content, they will come back. They will be interested in what you have, and they will be willing to be a part of it. So I truly appreciate everybody coming in. And I do want to say this, that the music that is playing in the background is music from one of my turntable brothers, as I call them. He's actually a DJ, he's a producer, he's a sound engineer. He owns his own production company / sound engineering company. So Many Walkers Entertainment, based out of here in Detroit, Michigan. But I know that he does a lot of things across the U.S. He spends a majority of his time, believe it or not, down in Florida, because Florida pretty much can run events year long. So he actually does sound for major venues and concerts. But I bring him up because the music that you have been listening to for this entire set is his content. So I do hope that you like what you've been listening to. As I said at the beginning of the I'm reading what you said, Aurora. So when is Real Tax Talks next stream? Yeah, when is your next stream? That's something you guys should put in the chat. Give me the times of your next streams so that everybody that is here, even the lurkers, they can actually join in. Got you. So yours is at 8, his is at 9. Okay. If we only had a 7 o'clocker, we could have done some type of raid train. Look at that. So I'll probably either whisper you or text you the what's best, because I know tomorrow is a kind of a busy day to me. I know Miss Sexy E is streaming tomorrow. I also conduct because I'm the media minister for my church. I actually conduct their Bible class, because our Bible class is actually virtual right now. So I know I'll be doing that, plus Miss Sexy E stream, plus I mod for a DJ, the DJ Unique, tomorrow. And then we have another streamer DJ that we follow, where Miss Sexy E is actually the mod, and I help her out with the modding in case there's a massive raid into her stream. So I know tomorrow's kind of busy, but we'll work it out. We'll get it together. Okay. That works for me. Well, like I say, we'll get it together. And I appreciate everybody here today. Like I say, probably the next tech talk will be about using Twitch itself as far as giving options or features to your mods. And I'm not going to say it like everybody else didn't know. I'm going to say it like I didn't know. I did not know the amount of emotes that you can actually put into your Twitch streams, because no one explained it to me, and I had to sit down and go through the emote section and read the tutorial on the emotes and what you can set emotes to. And just for an example, I didn't know you could set specific emotes for the amount of support you get from your listeners, but there are options in there that you can actually give your supporting listeners extra emotes to display your channel information. I don't know who all knew that, but I just found that out like in the last month or so. And I was purely at trying to get emotes based on the number of subscriptions, and I didn't know that there are more ways to get emotes available than just subscriptions. Right, so that's why I want to go into that, because when I started with emotes, without knowing this, I had more emotes created than I had slots for them. And then I read the emote section, and then I realized that it actually turns out I have more slots than I had emotes now. So, and that's one of my areas that I'm learning how to do. I'm very new at creating emotes, but I'm creative in the fact that I know how to make the computer do what I want it to do. Even if it's not the right way to do it, I know how to get it to do it the way I know how to do it. So there's a lot of emotes out there that I've created because I am inventive, and I'm going, I can do this, and if I do this, and if I do a screen capture of this, and then take the background out of this, and then move this over here, then I can actually make an emote. And that's to me, that is one of the key to making your streams a success: the ability to create content. And emotes qualify in this area, making content for your listeners so that they can actually enjoy the stream, doing all kind of stuff while you're conducting your stream. Like I see everybody loves the Capuchin, or now the Boom command, because they will run them all through the stream. And I love to see emotes myself. So, and as a matter of fact, that emote that was just done, I'm actually cleaning that one up and loading a new one up. Look at that, mention the Boom, and everybody starts going boom. All right, everyone. We're going to go ahead and find somebody to raid. Since it is I guess want to say a podcast show or talk show Tuesday, instead of finding another DJ, I wanted to find someone that's actually having some type of talk show. I do have one that I generally go to, Dr. Dottie Priest. She has a lot of motivational content to help you in your daily life, not just in your stream. I fix your stream. She try and fix your heart. I guess that's the best way of putting it. So I'm going to go ahead and begin the raid on that. And if you're in this chat or this stream, please make sure you go check out Text Talk, Real Text Talk, and Aurora Eatery. Aurora Eatery will be on in a little under an hour with Text Talk. I'm imagining a raid going from her to Text Talk. The Blessed One, you are welcome. And speaking of you, the Blessed One, when is your next stream? Well, I don't know how. I know there's a delay between the time I say it and the time it actually goes on the stream. So you haven't started yet. That's why. Okay. Well, you make sure, and I know I've said it to you before, and I've talked to so many people, I will forget sometimes. But please, when you're ready to stream, please let us know, because we're coming in with full support. Because we want you to get where you need to get it as fast as you can get there. All right, everybody. Oh, let me do this. Before we do that, before I actually hit the raid command, since we got it working, let's run those end credits. So I just want to thank my mods, Miss Sexy E, she was there. Thank you for the host, the Blessed One, the Ambassador, and Real Text Talk. Thank you for the raid, DJ Unique. I appreciate y'all. And we're out. I didn't say I was standing there either. Oh, she raiding. She raiding somebody.